Dayam Udhirayat Shinvatam Swakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Hrudayantosto hi abhadrani vidunoti suhitsatam Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama sloke bhakti bhavati naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 33, Activities of Kapila, verse 13 and 14. Verse 13. Sachapi tanayokteena yogadesena yogayug tasmin ashrama abhide saraswatya samahitaha. Synonyms: sa, she, cha, and api also, tanaya, by her son, uktena, spoken, yoga adesena, by the instructions of yoga, yoga yuk, engaged in bhakti yoga, tasmin, in that, ashrame, hermitage, apide, the flower crown, saraswataha, of the Saraswati, samahitaha, fixed in samadhi. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. As instructed by her son, Devahuti also began to practice Bhakti Yoga in that very ashrama. She practiced Samadhi in the house of Kardama Muni, which was so beautifully decorated with flowers so that it was considered the flower crown of the river Saraswati. Purport. Devahuti did not leave her house because it is never recommended for a woman to leave for her home. She is dependent. The very example of Devahuti was that when she was not married, she was under the care of her father, Swayambhuva Manu, and then Swayambhuva Manu gave her to Kardama Muni in charity. She was under the care of her husband in her youth, and then her son Kapila Muni was born. As soon as her son grew up, her husband left home, and similarly, the son, after discharging his duty towards his mother, also left. She could also have left home, but she did not. Rather, she remained at home and began to practice Bhakti Yoga as it was instructed by her great son, Kapila Muni, and because of her practice of Bhakti Yoga, the entire home became just like a flower crown on the river Saraswati. Text 14. अभिक्ष्णवा अभिक्ष्णवा गह कपिसन जातिलन कुटिलालकन आत्मानं चोग्र तपसा बिभ्रति चिरिनम कृसम. Synonyms: Abhikshna, again and again, Avagaha, by bathing, Kapisan, grey, Jatilan, mated, Kutila, curled, Alakan, hair, Atmanam, her body, Cha, and Ugra Tapasa, by severe austerities, Bibrati, became, Chirinam, clothed in the rags, Krisam, thin. Translation: She began to bathe 3 times daily, and thus her curling black hair gradually became grey. Due to austerity, her body gradually became thin, and she wore old garments. Purport: It is the practice of the yogi, brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyasi to bathe at least 3 times daily, early in the morning, during noontime, and in the evening. These principles are strictly followed even by some grahasthas, especially brahmanas, who are elevated in spiritual consciousness. Dehuti was a king's daughter and almost a king's wife also. Although Kardama Muni was not a king, but by his yogic mystic power, he accommodated Devahuti very comfortably in a nice palace with maid servants and all opulence. But since she had learned austerity even in the presence of her husband, there was so difficulty for her to be austere. Still, because her body underwent severe austerity after the departure of her husband and son, she became thin. To be too fat is not very good for spiritually advanced life. Rather, one should reduce because if one becomes fat, it is an impediment to progress in spiritual understanding. One should be careful not to eat too much. sleep too much, or remain in a comfortable position. Voluntarily accepting some penances and difficulties, one should take less food and less sleep. These are the procedures for practicing any kind of yoga, whether bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, or hatha yoga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshur Ulmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padanitikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Roma Padaswamin Iti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे I humbly bow down and seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavis. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. And please forgive me for any shortcomings, misinterpretations, or any speculations. Especially today's summary, I'm speaking to myself very heavily. So I have gathered few points from His Holiness Rompata Swami recording classes. So in the previous, especially in the Canto 3, in the previous chapters prior to this chapter 22 to all the way to the 32, mostly a Lord Kapila spoke about Sankhya philosophy to Mother Devahuti. So those are the instructions. So those are the core theory. Now in this current chapter, uh, is present currently explained the application part. So once Devahuti received all the instructions, she got the core everything. I mean, like the whole Bhakti Yoga principles and core message. Now in this chapter, it is completely application part. So in this chapter, I mean, like in the previous also, we have seen that um, the summary of the teachings are very clear that Devahuti understood it, and Lord Kapila is very kind, and he appeared as the Lord Vishnu as a son, and finally Lord Kapila gave his blessings. After he left, also she continued staying in the same ashrama and continued the devotional service, and the end she attained the success. So, in the purport, Prabhupada emphasized about Vedic culture, about the woman Vedic culture, and also here Devahuti set a great example for us how to follow the instructions without any deviation. Uh, like in yesterday's class, Mataji explained a good example about the weeds. With irrespective of the time, climate, the weeds come into the front yard and backyard. Similarly, in our day-to-day life also, we will see a lot of discrepancies. So no matter whatever it is, still we need to continue our devotional service. Uh, I mean, why? Because we are in a place that is a lot of miseries, and also this is temporary place. In Bhagavad Gita 8.15, we have seen this Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. The sentence is, I mean, the verse is, मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयम् अशाश्वतं नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मना samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. So, in this case also, Devahuti acted as same like Arjuna. Initially, she might be bewildered, but later, once she get all the answers from the questions, I mean, like whatever the question she has from the Lord Kapila, and she gained that knowledge and she implemented perfectly with 100% without any deviation. We can see as example that before a marriage she got the shelter of his father, and after marriage her husband Kardama Muni, and after that her son Kapila Dev, and after that when Kapila Dev left the home, but still she stayed in the home and she continued the devotional service because she has strong faith in the instructions whatever she received. So in our life also we need to be increase, or we need to stick on to that faith, because by costless mercy we got this opportunity to understand about Krishna and to attain about to understand about ourselves, what is the relationship between ourselves and Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, as we know all these things, then our we have to fix our faith. We have to be steady on our faith, and we need to continue. The important thing is that the faith. When we have the faith, then we can follow the instructions. Without faith, it's a little bit difficult to follow the instructions. So once we have the faith, when we are practicing, when we have that conviction very strongly, uh, slowly, as time passes, definitely we will come to a stage called samadhi. That's what she was in that position. When as soon as she attended that position, that's the reason she did not left the home. She continues over staying there. So in order to get that stage, we always need to think about Krishna. When we think about Krishna, definitely Krishna gives the intelligence to have that faith, to have that practice nature in our life. Like 15:15 says, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivisto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedesha sarver aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me uh, come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So when we develop that practice, definitely we will have that intelligence to remember Him. We can use our free will in towards Krishna, and if we want to forget, definitely will be the forgetfulness, of course, which we don't want. But again, that is matter. So uh, so when we have this faith, and when we follow the instructions, definitely the life will be easy no matter where we are at. uh, in the class, Rompad Maharaj also saying that you are here. I mean, like, we don't have protection from the parents. Where if you see the we are away from our parents, but still we are staying, continuing happily. Why? Because of that mercy we are following, and we are getting that mercy from Guru and Krishna. That's the reason we are over here. Otherwise, this is not our place at all. Like, we came from our original background, India, and we are staying here as example. So similarly, in that context, we will have that protection forever when we have that faith and conviction towards our process. And also, uh, some in addition to this, text 15 also 14, sorry, text 14 have some other things, like it is also very good application, that we need to be while we're practicing, we need to be follow some austerity is very very important. Like that description says, purport in the purpose speaks in the purport very clearly that we need to take 3 times a bath, and we need to eat very little. We need to have some nistan. Along with that, we are also following. We need to follow very sincerely that Ekadashi, following the Ekadashis, and also some festivals. So in that way, so we can remember a God a lot, so that we will see some lot of progress. And by following the austerity, and we can easily wake up in the early morning, we can do our japa nicely, we can have chanting and hearing very nice way, so that our day goes very easily, so that we can whole day we can focus mostly, we can focus on Krishna, so that whatever we are getting we can offer to Krishna easily. Whatever it is, occupation or business, whatever it we have, we can offer to Krishna very sincerely, I mean, like, very easy manner. So that is a good sign for the spiritual advancement and spiritual progress. And also, along to that, in order to overcome some deviations or distractions, we need to be very careful that we should not accumulate a lot. Then not only in the food heating standpoint, and also in the others, like Hatyahara. Rupa Goswami speaks in NOI, like Hatyahara Prayasacha. Those things also we need to be very carefully. We need to see, like. too much accumulation or too much non-devotee association, those also degrades our faith. That's the reason we need to minimize those things. See, in all these circumstances, in all these things, Devhuti set a very good example over here. Although, see, her father is a Prajapati, that means he's a king, and husband, although he's not the king, but he's having a lot of mystic powers. They kept with all opulences, but she did not took those things at all. I mean, like, she always continued to be in the nista on the devotional service. And also, by doing this, so I mean, like, by doing our dharma, definitely we will have that good faith in our spiritual understanding. And also, for example, in one of the classes of my one of the previous acharya classes, I heard that when we have strong faith and when we follow the instructions of the Guru and Krishna, uh, crossing this material ocean is very easy, very very easy. And also, of course, Mataji quoted yesterday, and same thing. I mean, I want to reference the same thing from Srimad Bhagavatam as well. 10th canto, 14th chapter, 58th verse. समश्चित्याय पादपल्लव प्लवं महत्पदं पुण्य यशो मुरारे भावं बुद्धिर्वत्स पदम परम पदम 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 यद विपदाम ना तेषाम. For those who have accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, the enemy of the Mura demon, the ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's hoof print. Their goal is Parampadam, Vaikunta, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. So definitely we will achieve this, and this is so easy process when we have that strong faith in Guru and Krishna. The crossing the material ocean is as equal to as easy as possible as crossing the calf hoof print. And we all know the calf hoof print contains less than 50 ml according to mechanical mathematical calculations. So that much easy when we have this faith in Guru and Krishna in order to cross all this material ocean. So in the bottom is that, as again, the summary is that we need to have the strong conviction towards the process, Guru and Krishna. That is the lesson we have learned from Mother Devahuti. So we have got this causeless mercy, and we need to implement and we need to support the protection of the process and human so that it benefits the society, universe, and everything. So in that way, I will conclude here. I will stop. Thank you again for giving this opportunity for my purification. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya cha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo